Hey everybody, welcome to a special AMA. We have the founder of ARQX with us. They do smart AI jewelry design and so much more. Welcome, Carbon. Please introduce yourself. How what brought you down this road to want to create something? How long you've been in crypto? Maybe just a little bit of information so people can get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, totally. To go way back, I actually got into tech right out of college. Landed actually a job at HubSpot, which is a publicly traded tech company in Boston. There was really cool experience. Got to cut my teeth, and they're some of the most like incredible people at marketing. They changed digital marketing, back in the early 2010s by stopping advertising and creating content, just like what we're doing now. It's like the best. Provide value, create community. That's the way to build awareness about a project, not just paid advertising. So yeah, got to spend a number of years there, and as a graphic designer, product designer, and then kind of worked my way through the industry. Then moved around a bunch of different other tech companies, mostly in fintech. I'm doing product design and creative direction for different fintech companies, investing companies, hedge fund companies. And yeah, and then as what happens a lot of times when you work in TradFi, slowly, the more you learn, the older folks, more or less, they're kind of baked into the orthodoxy. But if you're younger and you're learning about this stuff, you're like, wait, what is this crypto thing? And you start to put the pieces together, and then eventually you can get orange pilled pretty easily as and go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. So that's kind of how I got into Web3, and I was like, wow, so much of the stuff that I've been doing on the fintech side can actually, have such a bigger impact over on the Web3 side. And then actually, the origin story kind of factors in for ARQ itself. I actually, while I was living in California, one day, about 2.5 years ago, I think at this point, I was actually in the gym and just watching a basketball game or something on the treadmill, and there was a diamond engagement ring commercial on TV, and I was just like, something hit me, and I was like, it is crazy that so many people spend probably the biggest purchase in a lot of their lives other than the house is like an engagement ring. And you're buying something for the person that means the most to you in the entire world, and you're buying a depreciating asset that's losing value. The second you go in that store and buy it, it drops down like a car coming off the lot. So I was like, it's very strange that we've kind of just embraced the entire world is filled with deflating, or depreciating assets. And that kind of like hit me. I was like, what if we could put Bitcoin on jewelry? I was like, if I get engaged, I would much rather give my, a diamond is fine, but like in addition to a diamond, putting Bitcoin or a digital asset combined with a physical asset. And so that was like, I just couldn't forget about that idea. And it kept growing and growing and growing. And eventually I was like, you know what, it's time. I'm gonna do this thing. And yeah, that was kind of the birth of ARQ. So we mix. I kind of, on a very high level, describe us as a high-tech luxury company. So we have multiple different products, one being smart jewelry, so we can actually this piece of jewelry actually has a chip inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have NFC chips in a lot of our jewelry, and we have a Web3 wallet that you can actually directly pair with that. So you can legitimately, this is like we've got a jewelry box right next to me, you can legitimately, for a loved one or anyone, onboard them with Web3 just by handing them a piece of jewelry, and then voila, here you go. Now you're onboarded Web3, no self-custody needed, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of our first product. But the product that we just actually released, which has even more mass market appeal, is our AI jewelry design application. And so during while we were designing the smart jewelry, we started actually using AI, different AI programs to help with jewelry design. And people were having so much fun with it. I was like, holy smokes, this isn't just a part of our iteration process. This actually might be a core part of our product offering. And so then we really went to our investors. Everyone really liked the idea, and we put together a kind of MVP of that. And then yeah, over the last about 6 months, we developed a full iOS and Android application. It just released on iOS last week and is coming to Android probably in about a week or two. They're a little slower over on the side. But yeah, this application is, everyone, I would suggest everyone to try it. It's pretty mind-blowing. You legitimately, I'm on my phone right now, so I can't
You're good.
show you guys.
You're good.
Pull up a little demo later, but
Yeah.
it's mind blowing. You actually can just download the app and within seconds design your own jewelry using AI. And these are original pieces that no one else has because it's, we all know how AI works. And so this allows anyone to become a professional jewelry designer.
Wow.
And I'll do this kind of like whole intro with saying that is part of like the ethos of what we're trying to do. We're trying to just bring that, the Web3 decentralization, what we've done with DeFi, right? That decentralized playbook can be applied to so many different industries, and luxury is so ripe for it. Yeah. And there's just really not that much going on there yet. It's fertile territory. So what we're doing actually lets the entire jewelry industry, just like banking, is controlled by very small conglomerates of people. In Europe and Asia, and they control like the entire jewelry market, right? So this actually allows us to, we want to be friends with them versus just making, we don't want to make too many enemies out of the gate, but we can all work together. But what we're really trying to do is actually give the power of creativity back to our audience, and it's so freaking fun because you don't have to. Oh, what's the new style coming out? What am I forced to buy? What do I have to buy that's overpriced? You go to Pandora or something like that, and you're paying like maybe 500% more than the actual 5,000, sometimes more than the actual cost of the actual goods there.
Yeah.
This actually lets us, the customer becomes the designer. And then we can actually deliver custom jewelry and all of these things at a lot cheaper price point, which is really cool.
So many questions, man. So many questions. You went through so many things right there. It sounds really, really cool. Why don't we talk a little bit about how the token, the ARQX token, works inside of the ecosystem, and what is its primary uses or use cases for your project?
Yeah, so obviously we're all in the Web3. We'll know about the token, and our token. We just had our TGE last week, so it's brand new. It's I think we're sub $1 million market cap still. We've been popping over that sub million, so the market's been rough, but it's still a really good time to enter the market before we really start taking off in a couple months. But so the token itself is kind of the kind of powers the whole ecosystem. And obviously we just talked about, we have a couple different products. The AI mobile app is our first to enter the market. And so the ARQX token has a lot of different, value across that. There's many different utility points that we can plug in there. So number one, just for the mobile app itself, it acts as gas. So every AI application, whether it's a language model or image generation, it needs tokens. Even if it's a Web 2 application, you still need tokens just to basically quantify the processing power on the servers and all of that. So tokens are required by any AI application, and so that makes great use for Web 3 because we're already tokenizing things anyway. So the token itself, when you actually go in there, you're using the app, you're designing jewelry. That's actually using our token on the back end. So that's a number one demand for it. Secondly, which is really good, you can actually pay for jewelry with our own token. And so that's basically, another, for a cheaper price point, instead of USD, pay with the token and get cheaper jewelry. So also another really good way to onboard the masses, because we're doing, a lot of our advertising is on Web 2 side, we're Instagram, TikTok, influencer collaborations, all of that stuff. So we're bringing in a massive funnel of people who aren't in Web3, and then it allows them to actually, hey, what the heck is this ARQX thing? But like we do with, Starbucks points or airline miles, people are familiar with these alternative currencies. Yeah. So it's easy to get them in there. And then lastly, probably the biggest utility that will probably have an effect, just in general, we have 10% buyback and burns on all jewelry purchases. Okay. So, about jewelry, if anyone, if you have loved ones or a wife or anything like that, jewelry, is very sought after, but can be very expensive. So when every jewelry purchase, can go from, ranging from $600 to, thousands, even tens of thousands, depending what materials you're using. So imagine, $1,000 piece of jewelry, a necklace or something like that. $100 of that is going right off the open market to get burnt and bought back into our own marketing.
We already have questions from the audience. Actually, one of my community members has been following you, I think, on Instagram for a while. And when he saw this, that you guys were coming in to talk, he was like all excited. But he says, question, Steve says, is there a way to link the jewelry to the owner? If they have the chips inside, etc., can the ownership be linked? So if there's any theft, you can prove it's yours.
Of course. So, number one, you can export your private key, so you can always maintain. Even if you lost the piece of jewelry, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about that. Secondly, there's a PIN code when you access it. So when you access the Web3 wallet, then you can enter your PIN code and open it that way. So it's not like someone could snatch it and scan it. It has that layer of security on it. Additionally, we have, we're going to be building, deeper security features that will allow, if you're transferring big transactions, if you're trying to like sell an NFT off of your jewelry or sell an entire Bitcoin that's on the jewelry, then you would have to like have a waiting period and potentially multi-auth authentication and stuff like that.
This is probably one of the cooler projects, ideas that we've had a chance to speak with, and somebody's actually has, all of this stuff already done, right? Usually it's just an idea, and then they're like, "Hey, we got to raise money, we got to build this," but you guys have done it all.
Yeah.
So,
oh,
I'm sorry, go for
years
it.
there. Oh, so I was just gonna say, yeah, that what you just mentioned, that was a personal. Again, some people could argue against that because there are a lot of people that raise money with an idea and stuff like that. But I was insistent upon building these. That the traditional background of tech. There's a lot of downsides to that, but there's also like you have to kind of prove your worth. And so I think that was important. Something that I wanted to do is not just, oh, this isn't a speculation project. This isn't like, oh, what could it be like in the future? What about this metaverse that we might make someday? And there's going to be billions of people on it. It's like, no, this is, really, we wanted to be tangible, physical. You can hold it. You can actually use the app, all that stuff. Walk the walk before talking the talk.
Walk us through, what is the process? There's going to be people out there that are listening to this that are like, hey, I need to buy a piece of jewelry for my loved one's, anniversary, and I can do, this sounds like a crypto, which a lot of people that are listening to this channel are very interested in. So walk us through from start to finish how it all works, and how long does it take to get your piece of jewelry?
Yeah, so great question. We're going to we actually have pretty impressive as far as turnaround times for the manufacturing. We're in a little bit of an alpha phase where we had beta. The app is out there. You can use it. You can design. But we already have a lot of orders queued up. So that's another thing too, is like the faster people get their stuff in we kind of have a priority list already. But essentially people go in, they design, and you can have fun designing, make a lot of different designs. Then you will take one of those designs and submit it as an estimation. Then once it's submitted as an estimation, then our team of jewelers and designers can go in there and actually look at it and say, oh, what are the materials here? Is it silver? Is it platinum? Is it gold? What carat? Look at that, and then actually, start estimating how many, is there diamonds on it? Is there rubies? Do you want synthetic diamonds? Do you want lab-grown diamonds? Or do you want mined diamonds, etc.? So all those things come into play, and then we say, hey, these are the estimates here that you can go for, and then it's like comes back to the customer. They can say, oh, this is, $600. Okay, then they press pay, and then it goes into our manufacturing. We have somewhat we decentralized manufacturing as well. We have kind of a nodal base. We didn't want to just have originally looking at one large factory that we everything and then having to distribute it around the world, but we've actually been leaning into, and which is I think really cool, and actual kind of more of a not quite a full marketplace yet, even though we're kind of heading that way, but a decentralized nodal based manufacturing. So we have two different manufacturers in the United States, one in China and one in India. So all of those different places can actually fulfill orders. In Dubai, we'll have our Indian node take care of that. And then we're going to continue expanding and adding in independent jewelers and, celebrity jewelers and things like that. So at checkout, you can actually figure out where your location is and kind of what you can match. Do you want an indie jeweler, or do you want it, cheaper for, just kind of made in India and stuff like that. So that's kind of where our manufacturing space.
Steve's asking is, are the stones mined ethically? Great question.
Definitely, that is so important for us. Also, with the Web3 side of things, that actually is more opportunities. I mean, again, there's a lot of projects. People are like, "Oh, does this have to be Web3?" And sometimes I say, "Go back." It's like, "Does this have to be Web2?" It's like, prove to me that it doesn't have to be Web3. Yeah. The onus is on you. And there's so many. There's people talk about crypto, but there's like it's like talking about the internet. There's almost there's dozens of utilities that you can actually map on to different projects, and the ethically sourced, the tracing of the materials, where they came from, where you're receiving your piece, and actually knowing where the materials were, where it was manufactured, and being able to trace its journey are really important and easy to do in crypto. So that's something that we really want to do. And 100%, I'm an environmentalist at heart, and that's this stuff is so important to me. And additionally, there is a massive rise in lab-grown synthetic diamonds and precious gems, which are beautiful and have much of a less of an environmental impact. So that's something that a lot of our customers like to be able to offer that. Be able to get the big diamonds, the sapphires, and they're pretty much indistinguishable unless you have some crazy detectors and stuff. But it's like because it looks exactly the same and is gorgeous, even sometimes more perfect than the mined versions. And those things are very much cheaper, so it kind of is a win-win. And I think a lot of the industry is actually moving into the synthetic area because it is a lot less environmentally damaging.
So you are going to get a lot of Web 2 people that are going to be interested in this because they're going to see AI jewelry design, and they're going to want to participate. How is it a goal of your company to try to onboard them or educate them about Web3 as they go through their checkout process? Or what are you guys doing to maybe help spread the word or get people involved or bridge people from Web2 to Web3 through your project?
Number one, by the way, for everyone listening, we did not exchange questions or anything before this, so this is like completely off, but it is so core to what we're doing. And I think just to like look at it from a macro perspective of Web3 in general, is that there is such an important need for not just a specific project, but for us to be doing this in Web3 as a whole. We look at the last cycle and we hit this extreme barrier. It's like pouring water and it flows, but it hits like the edges of the glass, and we need to overflow that glass. We need to actually bring in more people, and we should be trying to dumb the stuff down. I don't know if they dumb it down, but make it more accessible as possible, and bring people in with a very low bar to entry, and then kind of warm them up. I've been on, I think probably a lot of people have maybe related to this, where they're like, during the last craze too with NFTs and stuff, people are like, how do I get NFTs? And you like legitimately going on Zoom calls with your like family members or friends from high school, trying to like show them how to use MetaMask, and we don't want to be doing that in the future. We want to have seamless, very seamless interactions to get people into Web3. So going back to ARQ, that is 1,000%. Even when we set off, I knew that I wanted to. There are other, luxury projects, there's gaming project stuff, but they're directly targeted to the Web3 community. And for me, just even on an investing standpoint, it's like you want a product to be so good it appeals to Web3 and Web2. It goes beyond those bounds. So that's 100% from the start. We were like, we need to build mass marketable, mainstream, adoptable products for like throughout the entire our entire roadmap. And we can have the upside of Web3 and the additional tech that we can incorporate. But it's still, you have to, right now with ARQ, you download it, you put in your phone. Well, you can even use it without putting your phone number. You can use it, trial it, and then putting just your phone number, get a security text, and that's it. You're in there. There's no self-custody and stuff off the bat. But then, like you said, then we have this kind of, you can call it a gateway drug or on-ramp. Then you actually start leading people. So the first experience with, ARQX might be, at checkout, hey, did you know you can save 15% on your purchase by paying with ARQX? Like, okay, I don't know what that is. Click here to learn more, and then you kind of lead them down that path little by little. Did you know you could actually stake in a very simple way? Hey, you could convert X amount of USD and actually bump your membership up to a platinum premium membership, and now you're actually staking. You're buying ARQX off the open market with USD. But now you're actually at a higher tier, and you're actually accessing all of those benefits, cheaper jewelry, even being able to build your own store, sell to customers. All of those things you unlock as a gated platform. But again, are using actually ARQX on the back end to kind of build that up. And then all of a sudden, you start onboarding people on, and they start researching ARQX more, and then can be get really flow into the Web3 side of things as well.
So, and I know we talked about this briefly a little bit before, but I want to kind of hit this home with the ARQX token, right? What can we just go over what all of the use cases around that? So it's a deflationary asset. You guys are selling, pieces of customized jewelry. 10% of that is going to buy back and burn the token off the open market. Is there staking? What else can people do with the token so they know, hey, these are the things I can get done. Like if I want to start this today, I can get in and start, building up my, holdings with ARQX.
Yeah, totally. So, I think we have, number one, we're doing all the traditional stuff, that projects do. We actually have, again, TG was last week. We're opening our first staking pools next week, for web, tier 1 and tier 2 folks. I think there are a lot of interest with that, so probably going to fill up pretty quickly. So you have your traditional Web3 staking of ARQX, and then just on the, as far as the application goes, just a quick rundown of, yes, we have the gas, so it's all the, the more people are on the app and designing with the app, and again, this is, scales to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of customers. The more activity we have, the more buying pressure there. Then we have discounts, so kind of accessing discounts, paying for cheaper jewelry with the ARQX token. And then there's the 10% buyback and burn. So all jewelry purchases are constantly, turning that demand as well. So again, as not just users, like, there's two different users, and then there's customers. So once they've actually transitioned into a purchaser of that kind of like e-commerce model, then they become, on that side of things, you have the buyback and burn tax. And then you can kind of, I think we were just touching on it a second ago, but then starting to, I would say, on the internal ecosystem staking. So you can kind of look at this as, the airlines model for the Web 2 folks, where, hey, the more miles you have, the more stuff you build up, the more, achievements you unlock, the more, lottery, spin the wheel, all these kind of, e-commerce playbook stuff that we can start plugging in.
Okay.
And then, achieve their, different levels of discounts. Just like on the Web3 side, everyone wants the APY, the different levels of APY. On the Web 2, internally in the app, then there's the hey, they want cheaper jewelry, they want to actually be able to design faster, get their jewelry manufactured faster, move to the front of the line. A lot of incentives there. And then additionally, there's an ability to actually start, white labeling, actually building your own collections and then selling it to your customers in your own. So it can actually turn into kind of a little bit of a Shopify experience in the app as well. So people actually creating their own collections, selling them to their friends, their family, their followers on Instagram. And again, that requires the staking on the internal ecosystem side of things.
Really, really amazing. And as far as the tokenomics goes, how many tokens are currently, circulating, and what is the max supply eventually, and what time frame is that the token's going to be released or put out into the ecosystem?
Yeah, so you guys can go. We have on our X.
Okay.
We have, you guys can pop in. I think we have it on our link tree, but yeah, we have our tokenomics are. And I'll share. Actually, I'll just drop this in here so everyone can.
That'd be great. Yeah, because people are gonna. Ask.
That's the way to do stuff. So
you're the best.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, tokenomics on the side of things. So we have 1 billion tokens, okay. And then at TGE. At TGE, we had just about 300,000 enter the market, and a lot of that still investing with individual users in the public round into private round as well. So yeah, it's right now there's very little selling pressure because there's a lot of great time to enter in, but it's pretty small percentage. So that 300,000 of that 1 billion mark is a pretty tiny amount.
Yeah.
And then in general, we have pretty like the vesting for some of the rounds are a bit on the shorter side, so that we can really flush out all the weekends before the market really heats up this summer, because a lot of projects are still doing really long vesting periods right now for their public and private rounds. But the problem that then you get that constant selling pressure as you go. So a little bit of shorter vesting periods, And then, this in August, we're pretty much ready for, full takeoff. And then the team and all the other, operation stuff is on much longer vesting periods.
Okay.
So yeah, and then pretty small amount, of those. So yeah, we have 20 months for the team actually going through. So in 6 months of my team lockup.
Can you ask or I mean can you tell us what is the most important, maybe two or three things that you're looking to do or expand, or what are you, now that you've launched and now that you have this incredible product, what is the most important thing to you over the next maybe 6 to 12 months? What are you trying to do to really bring this project to the globe and really get out there and sell a billion pieces of jewelry?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that, the number one core thing is, although we are excited to, get the word out, hype the project, spread the word, because there's two things that happen when people find out about ARQ. They go, oh, cool, AI plus RWA, right? This, like, oh, that's the both buzzwords. Interesting, luxury, jewelry, Web3, cool. Maybe, I might throw a couple $100 in. And then they really once they understand the long-term goal, the long-term vision, and how much this stuff can scale, then they cross over and they go, oh my God, this, they kind of see the long-term, upside to this whole thing. So, I think the biggest core component is not, oh, we're going to get this celebrity and these people. Although we've already been talking to some different celebrities and partners. We just partnered with Floki, official Floki, to do a jewelry drop with them. We have other NFT projects we're working with. So there's great partnership opportunities because you can convert any kind of brand into. But that only gets you so far. We even saw last cycle with certain NFT projects, we're bringing in all these big celebrities. And that stuff dries up, and then it goes away, right? And so nothing, unless we can execute on the core business model, a lot of this stuff is kind of window dressing. And so that's really the big thing in this, this year and going into next year, like really building the functioning e-commerce, model of this business that actually, functions the whole flywheel. Because as that grows. And we've already been, selling jewelry for, 8 months almost. Oh, wow. Smaller, OTC orders and stuff for, some of our VIP members and things like that. So we've been doing this for a while. But now we're scaling it, right? So scaling that model and delivering worldwide, delivering in good time frames and stuff like that, and then bringing just larger amounts of users on board. Executing that, that's the core thing. I can go down on litany of different really cool features and items that we're adding, but that's really is, the focus. And thankfully, it does scale. This isn't a new business model. This isn't a metaverse that's never existed. This is like a tried and true, people have been making jewelry for thousands of years and people buying, selling. Even the name ARQ Exchange, the X actually stands for exchange. So we're jewelry exchange, crypto exchange kind of melded together. But yeah, I would say that's the core thing, really getting our core business really strong, up and running, and then offering, some of these other milestones. I think the biggest milestones are obviously, the onboarding of our first, few thousand users, our first few thousand orders. Then from there, actually the biggest, probably this fall, we're going to be releasing white labeling. So again, people to be able to make their own stores. That scales on a whole other level. Think about Shopify, stuff like that. You got Amazon, but then you got, Shopify. Additionally, not just white labeling on an individual basis. We've already had manufacturers reach out to us and ask to actually, and I've been going to jewelry conferences and stuff, and through my network, but having different manufacturers actually ask to white label ARQ in general. And we have an iPad version, so you can put it in your store on a freaking iPad, and a brick and mortar, or put your own logo on there. You're using our software, using the ARQX token behind the scenes, but then they're buying that and manufacturing the jewelry on the back end for their own customers. So that scales massively too. So each of these things we're trying to use, hey, get this mainstream going, and then it branches out and branches out and branches out.
The idea is incredible, and it's amazing that you guys have already built all of this, right? Because we do talk with a lot of crypto projects that are, hey, we're going to do this, we're trying to do this. You guys have done it all, and now you guys are just waiting to explode. It's really quite interesting. So I did have a few questions in the back of my mind about the jewelry and the crypto piece. So could we just touch on that one more time, just because I know people come in late, and I'm just very curious. So can you pretty much attach any kind of crypto you want to this, or is it more of the seed phrase? Can you just clear that up for me? Because I'm
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I just like to
Yeah,
understand.
things. It's like it's always a balance between like sharing the larger vision, then you can go down these rabbit holes. So I was like kind of trying to give some high level stuff. But yeah, so we have there's basically two. The cool thing is we're trying to also be as interoperable as possible. It's very important in Web3. To not just, we don't want to build an on Rails closed system. We want to actually work with as many projects, integrate as many other technologies. So we have our own Web3 wallet
Okay.
that haven't released it yet, but it's been in development. It works and everything. That is, how some of our, of the features I've talked about. But we also actually have partnered with a separate company as a partnership called Gigantics, and they're actually a Web3 wallet. They've been released in the App Store for about 6 months. And so, just like a Trust Wallet or something like that, very similar. But they actually have the ability, we've integrated with them to pair our jewelry with their application. So you can actually, it kills me because of my phone is here. I want to demo it. But yeah, you basically open the Gigantics wallet app, and then you scan our jewelry, and then boom, you're into your wallet right there.
Do you?
And that one, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, and that one it already exists, and it has, I use it like all the time. It has, Ethereum, a lot of the main chains. They're adding a lot more different chains as we go.
Do you want to try to share your screen and show us like the app? I mean, can you do that?
Yeah,
Do you think
I can. Yeah, what are we talking about? I can share
you can
the
share?
actual
Yeah,
on my phone.
yeah. You can
Okay.
share your screen, and then you could probably go
Uh,
into it if you can. I just think it would be really cool for people to see a demo if you can.
I was like, it was killing me. I couldn't. Uh, there we go. Okay, let's see if I can share. I actually haven't done screen sharing on.
Oh, if you haven't done screen share, it might not work. I just thought it'd be really cool to
Uh,
see it if you could show
I know.
us.
Oh, share my screen. Okay, try it out. I've just never done the mobile version. Start broadcast.
Doesn't work. Yes.
Okay, can you see my Discord?
It's coming up. We can see it. Yes, we can. Absolutely. Guys, he's
Whoa!
sharing his screen. Go ahead and click on it so you can see everything, okay?
So can you see the app?
We can see the app, man. Rock and roll.
This is awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the ARQ AI Jewelry App, and yeah, you can kind of see just we really spent a lot of time to make it very easy, accessible, simple, made to appeal to largest. Well, I like to say 8 to 80. Anyone in that range can use it. So right here off the bat, you can see some of our top styles that people are using and people are choosing. Then you can start to see my designs. And this will bring up one of our members was like asking for they love kangaroos, and so they asked to add a kangaroo model in here. So we actually threw this to get a model in yesterday for that. And yeah, so this gives you a breakdown of the actual jewelry designs. And then going down, then you have your orders, and they're like an estimation basically. And so you can kind of see, hey, right now we're actually working on looking at this to determine what the cost is, and then we'll ship it back to the actual customer.
And
But yeah, so
how long do
yeah,
new
go ahead.
models take to add? Like this customer wanted a kangaroo, and you're like, hey, we can add
Yeah,
that. Is that something that's quick, or is it something that, hey, you have to send something in, submit a request, it takes a few days?
that one he has is one of our investors, so we have a direct communication.
Okay.
But we are adding, this is our kind of our baseline of styles, but
Yeah.
we're going to have only have 20 different styles, and each style basically is a kind of genre, you would say, and then you can customize it a ton. We actually have this animal model, and he just wanted to add the kangaroo as an animal at selection. So actually, I'll take you guys through real quick. And so let's just do one of these cold beast ones. Actually, let me pop out, show you the whole walkthrough. So down here in the bottom, you see this little magic button with the magic
Yeah.
symbol here. I can click that, and then I get into all of the different styles.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but styles they take, for our team to build probably a new style will take, about an hour or so, maybe a little less than that. But then to customize them or tweak the styles on our back end is a lot shorter than that. So adding in a kangaroo to a different model isn't that troubling. And our devs have put together such an amazing back end. It's like looks like a beautiful consumer product. So it's really fun for myself and the other admins to go in there and actually build stuff out. And we will be taking suggestions. So if you guys have yourselves or like wives or girlfriend who want any kind of specific styles, let me know because we're going to be adding a lot in the next few weeks. So I'll walk through here so you can see. You start to see different, I can go back and forth, rings and pendants. We'll go into pendants. We'll select we have women's styles in here. And again, a lot more coming. We'll pop over to the men's styles. The animal one's always fun because we can, you can see all the different versions here. Then we'll pop in. So I'll let you you drive this. Give me a selection.
Let's go with gold. I mean, people like gold, so let's select gold. We'll hit next here.
We got animals now.
We gotta do a dog. I got a lovely dog. So
we just yesterday too. Someone was like, "Can you put a dog in?" Okay, so details.
Hip hop dog. Let's do a hip hop dog. Let's see how that works.
Okay, special ingredients. Any you're in Hawaii, right?
Yeah. So aloha or something, or luau or lei. I don't know. Palm tree. There you go. We'll do that. That sounds good.
You got Trop Alive. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll call this Aloha Life or something, or Dog Aloha. Aloha Pup. See, you have the better names. All right. So.
All right. So then we submit, and boom, and then in just a couple seconds. Always like the law of demos is like the Murphy's law. So, but we should start in just a second. And then this is just like it's just really crazy once you start having so many different levers to press and different designs to kind of play with. It gets really addicting. It usually takes like 3 or 4 seconds, and is taking.
Well, we wanted to confuse it, right? It wouldn't be a good demo if we didn't try to really push the system. But, what other type of new features? Is it just adding new designs, or are you guys going to be adding new features to the app as well? Like, how more customizable can you make this? Like, have you guys like sat down and said, hey, this is what we should add next, or this is what we should do next? Or is that kind of like hush hush?
I have a litany of massive long list of different items that we're constantly adding. We have weekly sprints, so they're adding a lot of stuff almost daily, shipping new features and improvements. Oh my god, this is killing me. Of course, I was just using this all freaking morning.
You're okay. You're okay. We did try to confuse it, and there's probably not many people that are trying to do all of these different things. So it's all good, man. It's all good.
Let me just double back, and then we can.
It is drafting still. It looks like that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's still drafting. I have some. We have some bandwidth issues over here too, so it might be me streaming and trying to send requests at the same time.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. That's how it always works.
You'll get these different results, and you can even open them up in a different window if you want to, share them or anything like that. So these are some alien designs, and then from here you'll be able to select it and then move into estimation, and then from here you can find so if I rendered something as gold, but then I was like, you know what, actually it's I think probably just silver, balling on a budget here. I could change the metal type here. And then you're also tweaking the pendant size, the diameter here as well. So if you want something smaller, if you're a smaller person or something more light, but you can, ramp it up to like 30 millimeters and even larger here. So we could just do a giant piece and then boom, submit registration.
I've got an idea for you. So have you thought to, any kind of jewelry place? Some people, when you said balling on a budget, it brought up some things in my mind. And it does bring up that sometimes people want to pay in 6-month increments or 12-month increments. Maybe that they're going through a rougher time and they want to buy something nice for a loved one. Do you have something, or I'm sure you'll have something set up through like your new partnerships and stuff, but being able to have regular people that maybe have the token, can they lend on the platform to somebody that wants to take a loan and earn interest? Like I there's something there. I feel like, have you guys thought that?
That's no, like microloans. I
Yeah,
think that's a really cool idea. So instead of like the house, oh my god, so it just finished rendering while we were doing that. Here I'm trying to share my
yeah,
screen one more time.
please, that'd be really cool to see it. But yeah, I was just kind of came to me thinking, that's kind of perfect for what you guys are. Oh, cool! Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And do you have an option to upload like a photo, and then the AI takes like the photo and tries to make a piece of jewelry?
That's a great. So that's actually also in our roadmap.
Cool.
So we'll have a ability to upload, basically, upload from your camera, your photo reel, or take a new image. But yes, you could snap an image and use that as inputs into the neural net. It won't be, it's not going to be one to one, of
Yeah.
course, because you need to interpret. If you take a picture of a wall, it's not going to, what does it have to work with? So the more clear silhouetted kind of photos you can take and stuff like that. But 100% you can actually use that, feed that in to the additional customizations and details, and then start playing around with that. So, if you had a pet turtle, you had a pet dog, you could use that as an image and actually input that in. So it's really pretty, it gets pretty crazy.
Now this is probably one of the really more unique, cool ideas that we've had a chance to really sit down and talk with. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you feel is very important about the project that you want to share with us before kind of we get towards the end of this
Yeah,
interview session?
I keep flipping through it. Also, you can keep re-rolling, so I can just like
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I had to turn off the streaming to do this, but we'll see. It might not work while I'm streaming and doing this, but yeah. Before we kind of move on to any last things,
Sure.
I think your lending thing is a really cool idea. Here we go. Okay, it's still working.
Oh yeah, it's really quick too.
Yeah, So yes, you can just kind of see here. You get one idea, and you can it gets really addictive, and you can
Yeah.
kind of see. We want people. I've had I'll say I've had girlfriends stuff that are I think a lot of people that are addicted have there's some
Yeah.
shopping addiction that
Yeah.
are people like to shop. They whether it's on Shein or these different apps and stuff like that. And this is something I think kind of that can replace that a little bit and actually be more fun and more satisfying. I also think something that in the environmental vein, trying to let people design something that has meaning to it. For yourself, if you were to purchase this, you probably wouldn't throw it away, right? Because you kind of you were the one who designed it yourself. And so there's a lot of like fast fashion, if you've ever heard that term.
Yeah.
And people design stuff, they buy stuff, and then they throw it away because it's out of fashion. Oh, that was last year's fashion, or it's so old. But when you're the one actually pulling the strings and making stuff, there's a lot more likelihood of you keeping and holding on to it. So we really see, this is like really fun and easy to do, and hopefully be getting people just on their coffee breaks or on the subway being able to do this stuff. But yeah, you can come up with your design and then just keep re-rolling it and getting more and more designs for something. So just showing that. And then on the lending side, I actually think that's a really cool idea, to be able to not having to have like what's it called? Klarna. There's some of those companies.
Yeah.
Klarna. I think there's other ones that you can pay in increments and stuff like that. But again, you're dealing with you're a big bank there,
Yeah.
and they're probably reselling your loan to someone else, and it's like going through different entering a whole weird market of like Wall Street kind of stuff. So I think it's way cooler to like, if you wanted, I love that idea, man. So yeah, if you wanted to buy this dog necklace, but you're like, oh man, $900 is a little tough, or $1,200, but you could find almost like a market in the market, a match for someone who'd be willing to lend you that amount of ARQX and then convert, for that purchase. And then you would just pay that off in installments using some kind of smart contract.
Yeah, solved it. You have another use case for the token, right? I mean, that's what we do around here. Is we help you with cool stuff. So
awesome. Might add that to our pitch deck. But yeah, before we wrap up, yeah, I think this is pretty much we did some cool deep dives and stuff like that. So pumped that we were able to get the demo going. Yeah, I think just some major things we have. Just to recap some of the stuff. TG was last week. We're on Uniswap. We're actually on Uniswap as ETH. We have an ETH pairing and a base pairing. Which is really cool. Obviously, we wanted to there's advantages to layer 1 and layer 2 individually. So we were like, let's have our cake and eat it too. So access the whales with ETH, but also folks that want cheaper, faster transactions can use the base pairing. Next week we have our first SEX listing. So we're going to be on MEXC and we're launching next week. So that's something big to look at as well. And is probably going to have a lot more volume coming in once we're into our first SEX. And then we have the Android app. I think mentioned this is just the iOS app, but Android is coming probably about another week or two. They're just slow on their approvals. So a lot of really exciting stuff coming in. And then we're going to be really ramping up all of our marketing on the Web 2 side as well. This kind of been Web 3 craze of early May, and then we're going to be really launching into onboarding our first few thousand users. We have 5,000 beta users signed up who we haven't even reached out to yet because we're just still testing and wanting to onboard. We have almost 300 just regular users from our Web 3 community and stuff, but we're going to be ramping into the several thousands in the next few weeks.
And you could advertising would really cool and simple for this, right? Like create your own custom jewelry, and then you have a QR code that somebody can scan. It downloads the app, and they can start creating custom jewelry, right? I just the
referrals.
Yeah. Oh, referrals. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to. When you say advertising, what do you mean?
So you never anytime that I see kind of ads for something, like I'd imagine where if you have something like a billboard ad or something like just a sticker or it could be anything, right? But it has like ARQX, it has your thing. It says download or customizable jewelry, and then a QR code that somebody scans, downloads your app, and is able to kind of start creating custom. I'm imagining somebody like riding a bus or somebody riding a train and sees like your logo and just scans it with their phone and then starts creating jewelry. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
we had this weird picture.
I love that. Yeah, and it's so easy to access, right? Yeah. It's not like, hey, go open, your figure out how to use MetaMask and download. Because even like I'm sure you have been, to Web3 conferences or NFT NYC and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, cool. There's like some kind of crazy monkey with a mohawk on a billboard, but you're like, it's so inaccessible. People are like, cool, but like, how do I get that? You're like, well, you can't. It's $80,000, and you're like, oh, okay. So this is something that is that much more tangible nature. But I love the idea of we actually had one person reach out to us wanting to do ads on taxis and Ubers and stuff like that. So and it's weird because that's so old school, but it actually is may work for this model.
Yeah, and people do, Uber drivers, and they have like stuff. I've seen, those they have like the taxi things on the top of their cars too, but that can get expensive. But we did have a question from Zelfernite. He said, would modifying current jewelry be possible in the future? So if somebody has a custom piece that they want to turn into something, maybe like melt down some gold or something like that and make a custom piece, are you guys thinking of going down that way, or is this mostly creating something brand new rather than fixing something that somebody already has?
Yeah, that's interesting. Is that what he was referring to, like being able to send in a piece of jewelry and altering it or changing it?
That's what it sounds like. Yes, he says
yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, hey, this is where like our manufacturers are really, really talented. So I've been to a lot of their facilities, and the stuff that it's like kind of like, I don't know, being in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You're in there, and the stuff that they're doing is so insane, and all of that stuff is completely within the realm of possibility. It's a lot. It's like you got to hit some of these milestones first, but I love the idea. And going back to the name exchange, we don't want to be in a linear, hey, we you bought something from us and we sell it to you. Exchange really does, mean, people being able to sell to each other,
Yeah.
sell, have things modified, move around. That's where you really get the value, is creating this marketplace. So a lot of I think even on the resale, whether it's customizing a piece that already exists or wanting to resell something and refurbish something, we already have plans to do that. So imagine if you spent, X amount of money buying a piece of smart jewelry that, say, has like a limited edition album from a rapper or something like that on there. So you have to own that piece of jewelry to listen to that song. Then people are going to be going crazy over that to get that has a limited edition utility for it. So you could buy that, wear it, use it, and then if you're ever wanting to resell it when the floor rises, you could send it back to us. We'd be able to list it on the exchange and then refurbish it, maybe customize it, anything like that, and then ship it on to its next owner. So yeah, the two-way direction, I think, is still really important, and we definitely will be doing that.
Man, I is there anything else that we've left out or forgotten about? This is pretty incredible, all the stuff that you've shared. Have we missed anything?
I don't think so. I mean, it's the reason why I love talking to smart people about this stuff, because even just there's so many ways I'm always, this is kind of I wanted to plant the seed and let it grow, and there's already so many ways, like even talking to you about the lending and the jewelry modification. There's just always so many cool things, so fun. You could keep talking about forever. But yeah, I mean, I think I just would, just on closing, like, I'm just so excited to we're just wanting to share it. We've been in stealth mode for so long, getting these foundational components under our belt, but now it's time to share with the world. I also think just something that recalled from the very beginning that you're just discussing, even on like a personal selfish need for maybe definitely for myself, maybe you, some other folks in the audience, is this also is a way for us to like make people in our lives happy, to shop for jewelry, and also actually pump our bags at the same time, because you're instead of going down to Tiffany's or something and giving them your whole bag, at least if you're buying stuff for your wife or something like that, some 10% of that is coming back into your going back into your ARQX holdings. So a lot of really cool things. We also have a feature, it might be a little further down when we are able to get to it, but I personally want this feature to let you put in dates for anniversaries, holidays, and birthdays and things like that for different people in your family, so that when, hey, oh my God, my wife's birthday is coming up, it'll actually notify you, maybe 30 days in advance, so you could actually go ahead and take care of that birthday with just tapping a button. You could send her ARC credits, or you could design it yourself, but we're trying to make this stuff really easy and applicable for a lot of different folks. We also have this weird thing I've noticed, that a lot of our investors and holders are like, this is the first Web3 project that my girlfriend has taken any interest in.
Yep.
So
what you could do too with that same idea that you just had, if you could get custom emails on those dates with stuff that you've already searched, like maybe the system does a few different pieces of custom jewelry that gets sent to the customer that they've for their search queries, the things that they have searched for. Maybe it combines some different things and sends them, hey, with your past search history, this is what we've been able to create for you. Would you like to edit it some more, or order it like it is? That would be.
Are you saying for the gifting aspect, or just in general?
Well, yeah. So, like, if let's say, you're buying something for your wife, or maybe you're buying something for yourself, right? And you're searching all of these different things, right? And so I'm sure you're capturing emails and different things with this. And so, if you have it like a birthday or whatever, if the system kind of starts picking up those dates, you can get a custom email that's saying, hey, your birthday's coming up, or your wife's birthday's coming up. Here is some custom jewelry from the search kind of queries that you've had previously. This is kind of what, you could have the system. This could all be automated, I would assume. And it just would put stuff in front of people, and they'll be like, hey, maybe I'll, but this matches. Maybe I'll buy it, or maybe I'll go in and edit it some more. And then it just keeps top of mind. And people always want to give custom jewelry, so it's
that's a great idea. I also think that brings up something. We have a community feature we'll have, so you can like rent. You can like these dog designs. I could actually like take this one and publish it, and like it'll be out there for other people to see. And but what you could do, you and your wife could actually follow each other, so that you see, she could actually be making things, and you could see what she's made or has like on her wish list. So
There you
that could
go.
also be a way, very simple way to actually, you subtly kind of give the nudge that your wife has a couple of 5 different pieces that she's waiting for you to go fulfill.
I love this brainstorming session. I feel like we're building the next 6 months out of features that we want to see for ARQX. So truly
we
incredible.
we crossed over from a an AMA to a like Y Combinator session.
I love it, man. That's what we do in here. Where everyone's sharing ideas, and some ideas are really great. Some ideas, never be used. But I hope, you got value out of coming in, and we definitely got value from learning all about what you've built and your passion, and it really shines through all the ideas that you put into all of this. So thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, so it's been a blast, man. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it for me. Just so excited to network with some new people, and please, guys, come into. I think I posted our official web page, so that has like, it's kind of like our light paper, just the website itself. And then additionally, we have all of our links. Telegram is definitely, I'm in there at least a couple hours a day. So Telegram is where all the magic happens.
Magic happens.
So wants to come in and ask questions. We're having competitions too for jewelry design, so people can win free ARQX airdrops just by downloading the app, designing stuff with their, just themselves or their friends or family, and then posting it on X, and then you can get some free ARQX.
We love that, and we've shared all the links. We definitely have everything in the community in multiple different places. But if anybody in the community needs help finding these things, just send me a DM. I'll get it to you. But it's in the events tab. It's in the Seeds channel. It's in Alpha Sensei. So thank you so much, Carbon. We really do appreciate you sharing all this wisdom with us, your project with us, and I definitely think you're going to be very successful. And just thanks, man. Anything that you wanted to say in closing before we ended?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I'm just excited to get the more folks in the community, and
Sure.
share the word. And we love, like, just in this session, we're coming up with new ideas. We're so collaborative, and we want to work with other projects, other partners. It's really easy for us to do that, and just ideas too. Like I mentioned, if you have ideas for styles and jewelry that you yourself or a loved one wants to maybe design, let us know, because we're, this is a very organic developing platform. We love to get all that stuff in there. And then like I said, next week MEXC is our first sex, but right now we're available on Uniswap. And finally, this dang market looks like it's maybe, cross their fingers, baking in a little floor here. So very exciting times. The next few months are going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we wish you all the success, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be joining you on this journey. So thank you so much for your time. We hope to have you back when you want to come back, give some updates. The door is always open. We really appreciate you, and we wish you all a great day.
Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Aloha.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye. All right.